Is this something that you would ever partner up with a major label? Why are you smiling?
You're not serious, are you?
I'm dead ass.
When you say partner with a major, you mean like when they coax you into doing a JV, making you think that you own half when they really own the copyright and tack on their 18 to 20% distribution fee on top of the 50-50 and then pay you pennies on the dollar ex-US. That's what you mean?
I'm gonna take that as a no.
Oh, sorry. No, that was just train of thought. No, absolutely not.
Well, I want to know what inspired you to learn both the violin and the piano at the same time.
Mom, I love you. Thank you for taking me to Colborne School of Arts. Shout out to my first piano teacher, Steve, downtown LA.
Yeah.
Incredible guy. And then Mr. Park was my violin teacher at Lincoln. And I hated that with rosin. I hate that shit. I still don't like violin.
Did you actually do those?
Yes.
Oh, so that wasn't actually.
Oh, no, I played piano for 7 years.
Oh, you played piano for 7 years? I thought it was made up.
What? Because of the EO shit?
Yes.
Oh, no, yeah, that's real.
Oh, that's just real? Oh, okay.
Wait,
were you vocal coaching? Who's vocal coaching?
No, this is let me clear this up. Y'all believe everything you read on these fucking Spotify bios. And so we decided to have fun with y'all and say that like we were Michelle Obama's favorite artist and that I was Drake's engineer when it's clear that 40's his engineer.
Yes.
But y'all believe that shit. So shame on y'all.
Azad.
Ruiz.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming on the Manager's Playbook. Yo, this is going to be a great conversation. We've known each other like, you said 9 years going on into a decade. But I think the reason why I was really looking forward to doing this podcast, and we've been talking about doing it, but we wanted to find the right time, and I think it's the right time now. I think you were talking left brain, right brain.
Yeah.
Amazing in the artist realm, producer realm.
Thank you.
Just as great as an executive.
Appreciate that.
And I want to ask you which one do you like doing better? Which one do you like more? Because, I mean, you do them both great. And the reason why I say this is because, how do you go from being an artist, Azad Wright?
Oh my God.
No, but listen.
Yeah.
How do you go from being an artist, opening up for Kendrick Lamar on that infamous stage when, the torch is passed to him on the West Coast and you see Kendrick crying and Game Dre, everybody Snoop is around him, to then all of a sudden running a label, management, Peace of Mind Studios, Avant Garden, generating in revenue millions of dollars, but doing this on the label side as well too, right?
Yeah.
Helping a bunch of artists, right? And getting into your executive bag. Grammy nominated 3 years in a row. The
Mind of a Genius shit? Yeah.
Yes, Mind of a Genius.
Zoo in 2015, Gallant 16, and then Dante from They was also nominated as a producer, yeah.
How does this happen? Take me through that.
What a fucking intro. Well, thank you. Shit. How does it happen? I think.
Are you thinking about that? Like how much you've done?
No, yeah. As you're saying it, I'm like, damn, I started interning at Interscope in 2009 when I was going to community college.
Yeah.
And then commuting after that to UC Irvine and working for free at Interscope for like 30, 35 hours a week while making that drive from the West to Irvine, which is far as shit.
Who are you interning for?
I was interning for Chris Clancy, Jason Sangerman, and Ray Alba.
Oh, shit.
So obviously they went on to do really, special things. And Andrew Flatt as well. Clancy left like on month 3 or 4 of me coming in because obviously as we know it, he ended up finding Tyler and the Odd Future guys and I think going and developing that.
Wow.
And I doubt that he'd actually remember me, but Jason and Flatt and Ray Alba, definitely, I'm still in contact with Ray and Jason. But yeah, bro, I think, what do I like more? It just depends on the mood that I'm in. I think I don't go on the business side if I don't get fucked over as an artist for not knowing my business.
Okay.
Which I think is like instrumental in the whole thing.
Interesting. So that's why you got into the bag of the business because you were getting fucked over?
I was in a relationship with a team that, and this happened 2 or 3 times, people that didn't care as much as I did about my art. Because why should they?
Right.
Because the way it's structured, management deals, they're archaic. They don't make the manager feel incentivized. And they got to have so many clients to be able to pay for, fingers crossed, the ones that they really want to work on.
Yeah, yeah.
So
can you go into that a little bit more? Let's get into the weeds of what that means exactly.
Management typically is structured at 15 or 20% of gross or net, depending on who your manager is.
Right.
And they're making money when you're making money. And if you have a bad day or 2 or 5 and want to fire them, well, the 3 or 4 years they spent on you. And in Cali, like, sure, you can have the sunset clause. And if it's something that you really want to go after as a manager, it could be done. But it's really challenging to uphold that contract in the court of law. So I don't want to take away shit from the people that helped me in the early days, because I wouldn't have learned what I know now.
Of course.
But I don't go into that bag of like executive producing or A&Ring or creative directing other artists and wanting to start my own label if I don't take that L as an artist myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then going and being able to do it for like who I consider to be really elite level artists and producers in Zoo, in Gallant, in They, in Child, Emotional. All these things are like, to me, the best in class of what they are in their niches.
Yeah.
I don't get into that bag without it.
Yeah. Do you go into that bag and start really understanding the business shortly after as you get out of the situation?
I got these kicks just for Ruiz. I wanted to make him
son
really
of a bitch. I didn't know we were going to be wearing shoes over here. So this guy decides to throw on the LVs, and I'm like wearing shoes on the carpet because I'm Canadian. You know what I mean? We don't wear the shoes indoors like that. So
these haven't been worn yet.
Oh, sorry.
Shout out to Pete, man. I appreciate you, man.
Well, these have been worn. Do you want me to take these off?
No, it's all good.
Are you sure?
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right, man.
You're
all right, cool.
Sorry, I completely skated your question. What was it?
No, it's okay. We wanted to show off the LVs. We wanted to make sure these are looking.
And the Wu Young Me is hitting, right? Shout out to Seoul, man. My favorite city right now.
This is crazy. You just got back from Europe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How was that?
It was good, man. I went to Paris, Berlin, and Amsterdam.
Yep.
Which are like the homes of dance music. I'm working on a new project.
Okay.
Which we can get into, but I want to answer your question was a good one. Like, why get into that?
No, well, what I was asking was shortly after you were an artist, were in a situation that was of benefit to you because you didn't know the business. How long did it take you to transition over into, I shouldn't say transition, but diversify into the business side?
So I opened for Dot in 2011. Most Def was like 2013, Schoolboy Q, a bunch of artists in that kind of bag, Black Milk.
Wow.
And then, we actually played Toronto.
Oh, did you?
Me and Ray were in like a 2-seater driving from New York, and we did the entire East Coast with Black Milk.
Wow.
Did most stuff on the West Coast, did like Santa Barbara.
Revival? Was it in Revival?
That era?
Revival?
Oh, no. I don't know what it was, but some like 300-400 cap. It wasn't like My Club. It wasn't Drake Underground.
Probably Revival.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
It took 4 years, I would say, to get over to that side, right? One of my good friends at the time had started this label and was launching Zoo. I found Gallant on SoundCloud. He had released a song called Forfeit.
Okay.
And I sent it to him. And he ended up signing Gallant and was like, yo, if you want to come record out of my studio, work on your own music, I can't pay you, but you could work and be in the sphere of all this shit.
Yeah.
And I love Zoo and Gallant, the music. And then Zoo introduced me to Dante, who was creating They. And that kind of became the project I wrapped my arms around.
Yup.
And Tunji at the time had introduced me to Bryson at this like random house in the Valley. And he was getting ready to sign him. Bryson Tiller.
Okay.
And so the perfect storm happened when, Gallant and Zoo were already kind of going crazy. And then we launched They with like a 3-song EP with Ebro on Apple into a global world tour with Bryson.
And you're doing this all at Mind of a Genius.
Mm-hmm.
Got you.
I was the VP, whatever the fuck that even means.
Yeah, but what is it? Listen, let's talk a little bit about Mind of a Genius, right? Because this is it's an independent, but through a major, right?
Right. At the time we were properly indie, bro.
Okay, so
there was no Warner.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys are putting up your own bread?
I didn't put up anything, to be fair.
Okay.
So I think in hindsight, I can say that like, even though I would have loved to be a proper partner, I treated my work like I was a partner.
Like a partner. Yeah.
I was busting my ass, 16, 17 hours a day type shit.
Yeah.
But I wasn't putting up the money. So in that way, I can understand why I wasn't treated as such.
What's up, everybody? It's Mauricio Ruiz, founder of the Manager's Playbook. If you've seen the podcast, you know I talk a lot about how the music business really works. Not the theory, but what it actually takes to build a career that lasts. Listen, I spent over 17 years working behind the scenes with artists, managers, and teams, helping them make smarter deals, build systems, and grow careers that actually scale. And there's one thing that I've learned. Most people aren't lacking talent. They're lacking a playbook and someone to help them execute it. That's why, for the first time ever, I'm opening up the Manager's Playbook Mentorship Program, a hands-on program where my team and I personally help you get clear on your strategy, build real momentum, and make better business moves in the next few months. Now, if you're serious about taking your career or your artist to the next level, this is your chance to work directly with us. Spots are limited, so don't wait. Click the link below, learn more, and book your call today. Let's build your playbook together. Now back to the pod. But anyways, you were learning the business on that side of things. And I don't want to skate over that you felt like you weren't being treated as such, but I mean, you put in a lot of work. Also.
Yeah, no, and I look back and I'm grateful. It's just pure gratitude.
Yeah.
I'm glad shit happened the way it did, because then I wouldn't have my own label now with Britt and with Brando.
Would think if you were independent, if people don't know your name, you can't earn a very good living in this business. I'd love for you to dive into that, because the truth is, like, yes, EO's successful. The other ventures that you have, which we'll get into, successful. Artists that you work with, successful. But it's not like it's worldwide. It's not global fame. But the revenue generated on these verticals are very real. I'd love for you to dig into that a bit.
Yeah, Emotional Oranges. Yeah. I started making the demos for it with my homie Will in 2015.
Yeah.
And was developing that while I was helping run Mind of a Genius. And I think I'd learned from working with all these other artists, like, what would work for me? Because I think at the end of the day, like, a lot of people are talented, they can make music, but what separates really great art is your point of view. It's the greatest singers aren't the ones that make it.
That's so true.
And a lot of the time, the greatest songwriters aren't the ones that make it. But if you're unique in the way that if you're really you and you're authentic in that bag, no one else is going to be like you.
Right.
And so I kept like...
Yeah, but I mean, like, we talk about this thing authentic all the time, and not to cut you off, but like, just because you're authentic doesn't mean you're going to be good or great in this business.
Yeah, you got to work your ass off.
Yeah, exactly.
It was 16, 17 hours a day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Still.
Yeah. But I was able to find what I felt like separated me, which was like the amalgamation of all the influences. It was equal parts Gorillaz, but then it was Sade and Janet, but then it was like basement era, Tim, Missy, Genuine. How do you put that in a pot and make something that you really can stand behind? And for me, because I'm so ADD with it, I had to be like, all right, I want breakbeat hip hop drums, like MPC style. I want funky bass lines, some R&B, like Jodeci type top line, but mixing in pop universal concepts like of love.
Yeah.
Because at the time there was a lot of destructive music out there too. And I felt like I wanted fans to be like cross generations. Like, I want my mom to fuck with some shit, my homies to fuck with some shit, but the youth to also fuck with it. And so, everyone loves love. That's why we're here.
Right.
So with that framework, I was able to actually make something that ended up eventually having a sound. And when we left Mind of a Genius and created Avant Garden, EO was the first thing that we stood behind. Cutting in my art, my creative partner, cutting in my manager, them having equity in this label that we're creating together, having skin in the game. I think it just changes the way that people treat the work.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like you're being a conduit to my vision.
Right.
We all have agency over this thing we're creating together.
That was very intentional.
Very intentional.
Because of your experiences prior to. And it's funny because when we met, you were still at Mind of a Genius, I want to say. But what I met you as a manager of They.
Or like an A&R, I think, maybe.
I thought of you as a manager of They, to be honest.
Okay, I'll take that.
Because I think
shout out to They.
The first time that we actually sat down and met, we were actually at that festival, and I can never remember the name of the festival, but it was in Ontario. It was just
Faded in the Park?
What's that?
Faded in the Park?
No, it was in Toronto. It was Ontario. Well,
okay.
2 hours north of Toronto. That was when Frank Ocean was headlining.
And Q was there too.
Yeah.
Schoolboy Q. Yeah.
Yes. And Muramasa. There was a bunch of amazing acts that were there.
Yeah.
There were some great acts that were there. But I remember that's when we met. But we were talking already. We were like, we connected. And then we can go into that story of how we connected.
Oh yeah, please.
But
because I never actually knew this until recently.
Well, I knew you as an executive.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty crazy because I was like, oh, this guy's like, he's really sharp. You know what I mean? And like, because we talked on the phone. And initially we talked on the phone because there was a bidding war that was happening for Jesse.
Yeah.
That was the first time that we talked.
Mm-hmm. Just to be clear, I emailed when y'all had 3,000 or 350 plays.
What's that?
I emailed you when you had 350 plays.
On what?
On Figures.
No, we never had just 350 plays. I mean,
or like 3,000. So it was so light.
Yeah.
It was so light that like, and I need my credit on that because.
Well, I'll say this. I mean, you were there in that initial batch, but that initial batch was insane. It was like 100. There was 100 A&Rs, presidents, and CEOs that were in our email inbox after Figures.
Of course, he has to flex on me. It's his pod. I get it. Yes, and just like.
I listen. You know, people don't know. Everything about,
but
what I do. People just think I'm a podcaster
apparently,
and you're the one saying I got to introduce myself a little bit more over here. Like, tell the people what you know.
This man right here, the way that, because within a 3 or 4 month period, I met you, Jesse, and the team, met Ty, Brent, and that organization, and Zubin, Georgia, and what they were doing, all within.
Everybody was going at the same time.
And roughly. it was to me, I saw y'all as like the next batch of just elite level talent and team.
Yeah.
And it gave it, when you have that kind of, when your peers are like that, it pushes you to be great. And I just saw, Jesse at Paradiso, 2 sold out nights, almost 4,000 tickets in Amsterdam, word for word on album C-sides. And it gave me chills because I was like, the amount of people I went to when y'all were coming out, and I was like, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, forget all the comparisons to, with all due respect, this is its own thing. We haven't seen this before type shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of comparisons to Amy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what we were going to say.
And she's, I love Amy.
On her own, right? Yeah.
But Jessie's her own thing. And especially now getting to work with her as an artist myself. I've done it from all 3 sides with her. I was there when we were working on the They record Broken that featured Jessie.
Yeah.
Got to experience that. Got to know her as a friend through you guys. And then as an artist, got to work with her on my music.
Yeah.
And I've seen generational talent.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm really proud of being on it early.
Yeah, you were definitely early on that. I saw an email come in, Mind of a Genius, and I remember that there was a conversation that happened about a year prior to this bidding war happening, and it was Mind of a Genius.
Oh, shit.
Stop this. You're acting as if you don't know. But there was...
It wasn't me.
Well, that's
come
what
to
I
find
get to.
out.
Well, that's what I get to, right? So like, I come to find out, I come to find out on the call because, let me just tee this up. We come to LA and I think it's like 2014, 2015. Jessie is, here as a writer, but the word is getting around that she's a very good writer and that she's just, work ethic is nonstop. In the sessions, cutting 4 records at a time, not ideas, like full songs, cutting them and then actually recording them.
I've seen it.
And this is happening on a regular basis. And this within we're supposed to be here for like 5 days. We end up being here for like 5 months, because the sessions are nonstop and all of a sudden there's conversations about songwriting and publishing. We're learning on the go and on the fly.
Damn.
There's a meeting that happens where I can't remember exactly who's in that meeting, to be honest with you. And there's like different stories of this, but I'm not in the meeting. Jesse's not in the meeting. A couple of people bring some records over to...
Armand brought it, right?
I think it was Armand. Yeah.
Shout out to Armand. It's my dog.
All right, it's my guy too. And we're going to have Armand on the podcast as well because he's killing it right now.
With Jensen, smoking it.
It's absolutely
and
crushing.
Tim Subi, right?
Yeah, and Tim Subi.
Yeah,
that's how we knew because he's managing, he still manages Tim.
Fire.
And bring it into who I learned after was your partner. And your partner said...
Just to be clear.
Hold on a second, let me finish. Yeah, I know this is what we're getting over here. Hold on. You say, or not you say, but the partner says, this is underdeveloped, not a good writer, needs more writing. It gets back to us. Shit. And I was like, word. I was like, oh, word. Okay, cool. And I'm somebody who has a bit of a chip on his shoulder, since I was young.
That's a nice way to put it.
Yeah, exactly. I've talked about it a little bit on this podcast. I have
no, you're passionate. I love it.
Perpetual shit list. And I'm passionate for sure, but I don't forget things, right? Figures comes out. Within 48 hours, inbox is flooded. executives from all over the world, presidents, CEOs at the highest levels, majors, independents, all kinds. I see Azad
Naficy.
Mind of a Genius. I was like, oh, Mind of a Genius is in the email. Oh, okay. I thought she was underdeveloped. Okay, I guess they're back now. Cool. A couple of weeks later, we set up the meeting and I get on a call with you. And I'm talking to you and I'm like, this person doesn't sound like the person that I heard about in the session. This person is very passionate. This person is actually very dialed into like Jesse's song structure. He's asking all these questions about how are you going to move forward. Very intelligent questions you were asking.
Thank you, man.
Very dialed in. And I was like, and it wasn't coming from a place of an executive. I got a vibe of like, oh, it's kind of like a friend trying to help and like, because Azad is hearing where this could potentially go, sees the stardom, sees where
I saw the
arenas.
vision for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I was like, you know what? I feel comfortable enough to tell this guy right now that like, I'm like, hold on a second. Let me, I got to call this guy out. So we're like 15 or 20 minutes into the call. I'm like, yo, I love everything you're saying, Azad, but yo, I got to call you out. And then you're like, wait, what are you talking about? I'm like, yo, Mans came into your studio like a year ago and you said that this shit wasn't good. What are you talking? And he's like, no, you're like, whoa, wait. Wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
And I'll let you take it from there.
And just to be clear, when you said my partner, you're not talking about Brittany. You're talking about somebody else.
This is Mind of a Genius. Brittany's not even in the picture.
Yeah, she's not in the picture. She came in.
This is 2016.
Yeah, she came in, I think, I want to say maybe the end of that year, the beginning of the next.
Yeah.
But, you know, sometimes people miss things. And to be honest, my partner at the time, I still stand by his taste. I think he made some questionable choices at times, just like we all do. Yeah. And he missed things, just like we all do.
Everybody does.
Yeah. And
this is not a slight at him at all.
Yeah. And
this is just more the perpetual chip on the shoulder.
And I love that you went there, because I think this is a big reason why I go and I help start something that I have complete control over.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't have just been him, it would have been Warner's at the time too, because there was that JV by this point.
Did you learn about that meeting happening while you and I are speaking on the phone? Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's that conversation like after?
What the fuck?
Right.
Like, we're all entitled to say how we feel. But when you're talking about the perspective of a label, you're hoping that, like, you speak, you should have autonomy to be able to say how you feel about a record and about an artist. But I think sometimes it's not about a song or two. You're investing in like proper development. And this guy is very good. He was very good at development. So he could see he had the foresight to see where something could go if you watered the roots accordingly, right?
Yeah.
But long story short, that was one of the reasons why I felt like having something with, Britt and Brando and people that kind of saw the landscape like I did and cared about the same kind of artists would be more beneficial.
Well, no, and I want to be fair as well too, because like we later on learned down the road that, Tim and Jesse were working on this side project and it was called Mine, and that's what he heard, right? So it was like these songs that were like, I don't want to say half-baked, but it was very experimental. So I think maybe that's where he was coming from. It wasn't Jesse's project per se.
Fair.
So let's, to be fair to him,
yep.
I didn't know that in the whole mix of it, or at least I don't remember that, right? But I come to learn that afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't.
It's love.
It's all love. But I think that's, to your point, informs. And this is why I love having these conversations with you, because when we talk about this all the time, it's just you went and built your own thing.
Yeah.
Because you wanted to make sure that you're able to have the final stamp of approval on things. But then you cut in these people into this business. So like you were just talking about that a little bit, and I'd love for you to get a little bit more deeper into that, because it's important that that happens so people can have real, pardon my language, but real fucking alignment.
Yeah, and equity.
Yes.
And what you're building, have skin in the game.
Yeah.
And I think part of that is what we were talking about, like the person that puts up the money, which, me and Britt are proper partners on Avant Garden with a guy called Evan. And we work obviously with people like Rory and like Brando as well. But in terms of everyday operations, it's me and Britt playing ping pong, back and forth, playing tennis. Like, we're putting up our money. If we believe in something, Daddy's not going to pay for it. Yeah. We're going to pay for it ourselves. And it's gonna take out time that could go, for Britt to her daughter, to her family, for me to my own artist project. So alignment has to be spot the fuck on.
Yeah.
And you got to want to like not do dinner with your girl multiple times a week because you care about something so deeply.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. That first iteration of Avant Garden, which would have been like Emotional Oranges, Child, and then we brought They over from Mind of a Genius. So we had that kind of a three-headed hydra.
Yeah.
And that was an incredible run heading into the pandemic. I'm really passionate about the music we put out. I felt like it was a safe place. You know, we built a structure where like we were paying for the engineers so the artists didn't have to stand behind those costs. We built a studio space. So instead of spending $1,500 a day at a certain studio, you have this studio, it doesn't hit your books. I want to create a space where for the artists, because I am an artist, you didn't feel like there was a time limit on your creativity.
Mm-hmm.
And so all the things that went into that, creative, that's now baked in. Brando's an equity holder. If you have someone that you see fit for your project, we can oversee the creative and then we can hire them out to execute. These things shouldn't be on the artist's dollar, all of them, if you're a proper partner with them.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not, which for me, I only really at this point work with people that I'm incredibly close with.
Yeah.
Yanni from Child's one of my closest friends. Dante from They still is one of my best friends. Rory's one of my close friends. We work on his project together. So they say don't take that business shit personal, but for me, it's so familial.
Everything is so personal, yeah.
It's a family.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get into arguments and shit with your brothers and your sisters and whatever the case may be, but like, I'd go to war for those people.
Yeah.
My money's in it, my time's in it, my soul's in it. It's not food and beverage.
Yeah.
It's not a stock. You get me?
Right. Why Brit?
Oh, so many reasons. Incredible taste, fun to be around. Work ethic, I don't want to disrespect anyone that I've worked with, but work ethic, I don't know someone who works harder and cares more. No has never stopped her. If we agree on something that we need for a project, whether it's mine, and I have the luxury of having her also as my manager, right? Which I'm really thankful for. But once again, we built it. I know better. I would 10%, 20%, 50%, whatever the fuck it would take to incentivize someone like her and someone like Brando. It's not about the bread at that point because I know that there's no one better for me. Management is a very, the puzzle pieces have to fit very well for it to work long term.
Very uniquely too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, when I partnered up with her and partnered up with Brando, Tetris slowed down. If you're gonna liken Tetris to the music industry when shit's moving fast as hell and you're trying to put it in the right spot, when I started working with them, I was able to see the field and be able to really be the point guard of my business.
How come?
Because they would take the conversations and the things that clearly I'm passionate and I can rub people the wrong way.
No,
you don't say.
You don't say.
And even back then, I had less patience and I was less self-aware than I am now.
I mean, you're younger, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
immaturity is a little.
I was 26.
Yeah.
You know, so
that's with anybody though.
10 years. You know,
yeah.
Britt's incredible with people. I don't even know someone who doesn't fuck with her. It's rare.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, and I think the big piece about management or just any kind of executive shit is like it's a people game.
Yeah.
And I got the people that love me, that will ride for me. Like, you know, there's so many great people that when I needed something and it was time to like cash in on my equity with them, how I've shown up for them, they weren't just like, oh, I'm going to do you a favor. They're like, I've seen you work. You know, when I called you when it was time, I was like, yo, I'd love to keep this Jesse verse. And you're like, you know, let me have the conversation. You know, it's, if she didn't think it was dope and she didn't think what we were doing was dope, obviously you couldn't have pushed it through, but you've seen how hard I work. You see how much I care. And I think that, that's everything. So
I think this is an interesting conversation because you're going from artist to executive, and I don't think we've ever had that in the podcast, right? So right now you're
really?
just yeah.
I feel special. Thank you.
You're a special person. We only have special guests on this podcast, okay? But there's this notion here where right now I feel like you were talking from the element of the artist, and there's a lot of artists that watch this podcast, a lot of incredible artists, a lot of artists who are trying to figure it out. So I'd love for you to talk about not only Brit and why she was important for you as an artist, not necessarily an executive. Well, let me ask you, are you thinking about Brit coming on board to work with you as an artist first and foremost, or are you looking at both sides, business and artist? And then I love, after that, you know, if we can talk about Brando, because he's an important integral piece to this, and Evan as well. But let's start with that first question. Are you thinking about it with the artist's brain, or are you thinking about it with the executive brain?
Me and Britt managed They together.
Right.
And it was a natural progression when we left to start Avant Garden and I was working on my music. Management isn't just like a numbers thing.
Yeah.
It's a person
Please
thing.
go into that.
I naturally went to her and Brando with my music from 2015.
Yeah.
So they saw the development of EO and they saw what I poured into it and they gave amazing feedback, especially Britt. And I applied a lot. I mean, I'm not gonna hold you. Britt was one of the people that told me to stop rapping because I was such a great songwriter and because my tone, when she heard that I found my tone as a singer and I found the pocket for the production on EO, it was like night and day. Something had clicked. I didn't even really have the appetite to rap anymore.
Really?
Yeah, and I felt like it's also like a super young sport, and I felt like I wanted records that I could listen to in 20 years and not necessarily cringe at.
Yeah, yeah.
And I look back on a lot of that. I was old enough to like listen to myself at 19 and be like, damn, I don't want to make that. I'm bored of that.
You were tired of it.
I was tired of it.
Yeah.
I still love rap and hip hop more than anything.
But do you ever? A lot of debates.
So just to put a pin on that shit, or I guess put a bow on it, it was a people thing. I just naturally spent so much time with Britt getting feedback on my art and watch the way that she had developed me.
That's awesome. I didn't know.
There's an art to development. You're setting up the environment so that something could grow and flourish.
Yeah.
And even if you see something and you're like, damn, that's not going to work right now, the way you get the artist to there is equally as important because it's going to affect their process.
Okay.
And now I would say she's much more blunt and straightforward with the feedback. Whereas back then, because I wasn't as confident in my artist bag, because I had that rejection as a solo artist, or I felt that rejection, I think she was still incredibly truthful, but the way that she walked me to the water, if you will, was different because I needed something different back then.
Yeah.
Same thing with Brando. Brando, I'd always had good taste when it came to art, and I was always curious about the new creatives, everyone from Jack Beggart to Jack Britt. I mean, you name it. I loved photographers, filmmakers, editors. I was just obsessed with that shit.
Yeah, you are.
But Brando, once again, just helped develop my eye.
Mm-hmm.
And so naturally, when you go and you start a label or you start your own artist project, who else? I'm not one of these people that's like dreaming for
the
full
biggest
stop,
of, yeah.
or whoever to come, and all due respect to everyone. They're all great for their own clients.
Yeah.
For me, selfishly, I want a team of really close friends that I can monopolize.
Yeah,
time.
But you say selfishly, but every artist needs that.
Yeah.
Every artist needs that. But again, it's not that there's anything wrong with Full Stop or one of these other management companies. They're great. But you as an artist understood exactly what the artist needs. The artist side of Azad needs.
Yeah, and I'm like an Iranian kid from LA who like grew up on like deep R&B cuts, hip hop, indie, and alt music. Like you gotta build.
Who's gonna understand?
You gotta build your bespoke fucking team.
Yeah.
And also it felt childlike to work with those people, which I think is now coming into it 10 years later, restarting and starting my own solo project. It's fun as hell. And you can hear it, you can see it, and you get that camaraderie again with the people that you're working with, your partners.
Yeah.
And that separates everything. Now, I will say, if I didn't have the two labels with those same people, I wouldn't feel comfortable asking for as much help because I understand that like if God forbid something happens to me, I know that off of what we've built, they're going to be able to eat for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
And I don't have any guilt associated with it.
Yeah.
That's, for me, as the kind of person that I am, that's really important. Sorry, I just feel like I'm ranting, but you get
this. No, it's not ranting. This is conversation at the end of the day. And it's funny because even going back to a little bit of what I was saying is after that phone call, you and I stayed connected. And we became homies. And I don't know how this happened, but to be honest, somehow you basically said, yo, if you're going to come and stay in LA, just stay in my crib. I got an extra room. And I stayed there for months. Like you welcomed me into the home. We hit it off right away. Like, he was a homie. But I remember like a month or two into it, because I just knew you as a fucking executive. I didn't know you as an artist. You didn't even tell me that, not even once. And that was like the most interesting thing. And you started playing me some demos and some music. Like, I got this new artist that I'm thinking about working with. I was like, okay, sick. And I'm listening to the music. I'm like, this is dope. This is giving me that kind of vibe that Maja Jordan was in that pocket, right? And I was like, this is really good. I'm like, amazing, man. Yeah, keep playing, keep showing me some of this stuff. You're like, cool. Then all of a sudden,
so good.
And I'm managing Jesse, but I'm still we still have the production company, Mad Rock Entertainment.
Yes.
Yeah.
You did an amazing video for us, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next to no money.
Thank you. But seriously. Did you know that I didn't know that you were the artist until because I wasn't on set. I didn't know you were the artist until Mad Rock came in and asked me, and I think it was Matt Power. He's just like, yo, so is Azad the manager or the artist? And I'm like, oh, he's the manager. He's like, are you sure? And I'm like, I think so.
Wow.
I already knew this motherfucker for like a year. And then I call you or I text you and I'm like, yo, Azad, are you in Emotional Oranges? Because you weren't telling anybody at the time.
Yeah, because I think that's part of the industry. The shit like spit me up and shoot me up and spit me out on my solo shit.
So that wasn't intentional?
It was incredibly intentional.
Okay.
I didn't want it to color the lens that people heard the other artists that I worked with, and I wanted to win on my own merit.
Right.
I just I also felt a lot of shame. Like when you get rejected.
Because it didn't work?
Because it didn't work for me as a solo artist.
Right.
Not because I wasn't talented, I didn't work hard enough. I just I wasn't developed.
Right.
Because this industry doesn't reward development anymore. And so, or doesn't have the resources for development anymore, not pouring at least the resources into development. And so I tried to create everything that I felt like was missing between EO and between Avant Garden, the infrastructure to like lift up artists that I don't fit a mold.
Yeah.
I remember when I was rapping, they kept trying to make me like an R&B artist, like the people that I was working with, or like more pop. And I'm like, I'm really barring out, but it's like, but they're like, yeah. And in hindsight, no one wanted to see this fucking Iranian kid talking about a struggle rap shit over soulful beats. Like, we have J. Cole, we have Kendrick, we don't need you.
Maybe.
I mean,
maybe not. But it was just, you said you were underdeveloped. I'd love to talk about that. Because I think you got a really good sense of artist development.
Yeah.
What does that look like then? And we can talk about it specifically for you, but then let's talk about it for some of the artists that you're working with.
Mm-hmm. Direction. Like I grew up gaming, so you have like a mana bar, if we're talking about like Diablo or World of Warcraft or whatever, you got mana. And I was using up a lot of my mana on the wrong moves. Instead of...
What does that mean when you say the wrong moves?
Like, I'm a producer in the sense of I know what I want and I know how to get it there. But if I would go back and adjust things, I would have started playing piano again because I played it as a child. And so I understand the nuances and I have the intuition, but I would have gotten technically really, really savvy. I can still record myself. I recorded all my shit for 10 years, but I would have really honed in on production because producers learn tone. When you can produce an artist, if it wasn't for Zoo Gallant and that experience, especially with Dante, I wouldn't have been able to do EO the right way because I wouldn't have known how to produce myself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And so directionally, I was hustling, but you're kind of hustling backwards if you're like looking for shows, but you haven't gotten this body of work right. You don't have a brand. Your art direction is ass. Until I met Brando, I was just throwing up like bullshit photos with like random. I wasn't caring about the things that I actually genuinely loved. I'll be the guy that would go through every album booklet and learn all the production notes and the songwriters. And But then when it came to my own shit, I was just focusing on, let me get the best raps and the best mixes. And that's all I was doing. But everything else matters. It's a whole package.
Right.
If you want it to be a business. And that's where maybe at the time I was just a passionate hobbyist.
Got you. Yeah. So then you ended up, that's super interesting.
You're getting me to say a whole bunch of shit I've never said. This is great.
What's that?
You're getting me to say a whole bunch of things I've never said.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think your story is an incredible one. And to be honest with you, I didn't know that. I didn't know these things. I was just genuinely curious, man. Because let's not get it twisted. We're in your home right now and it's a beautiful home, but you don't come from this. You developed this, you built this, right? But you didn't necessarily build this as an employee, as an artist in the beginning of your career because you were underdeveloped or it wasn't your thing. You built this because you ended up having real equity and real stake in your business, right? Real ownership. And I'd love to talk about that side of things because when you're developing Emotional Oranges, you're developing Avant Garden. I don't even think you have a name to it at the time, right?
Yeah.
You're definitely not telling people that you're a part of it, as you mentioned. But you do understand that equity is the play and ownership is the play. How important does that become in your wheelhouse of the business that you're creating?
Record labels never need to tour. Once I found that out, my perspective completely changed. In the music business, the people that make the most money are not the artists, it's the record labels.
Why is that?
It's who owns the copyright, who can exploit the copyright. That's it, bro.
And
it's control.
Why do you think people think that the copyright or the songs are not worth anything? Because people will say streaming is ass. I'm curious to your opinion on that.
It's not even about streaming. You can go direct to fan right now. I know friends that are making 8 to 10 million a year off of streaming, off of the DSPs.
Like not on streaming.
Not on streaming.
Okay.
Right? And that's like, in some cases, that's not even the highest. Right? And you have artists like Tech9, who for 20 years has been making 8 figures merchandising, owning the A to Z of distribution of the infrastructure. So the warehousing, the tour buses, the door deals when it comes to the shows. Like I really studied this shit because I was like, once again, if something happens, who's going to feed me? When you come from Section 8, when you come from single parent household, whatever the case may be, that scarcity mindset's real. Especially once you get a little bit older and you're like, damn. I saw a lot of my friends that are artists fire their managers that have been there for time.
And then it goes like this.
That too. But then the other way around as well. The manager would have built something up to 5,000 tickets a market and now they don't get to commission that anymore. And they've sunk in a lot of their juju and their fucking livelihood. And so I don't want to lose myself.
And just so we're clear, what we're talking about right now, there is managers actually building a business with the artist, but they don't have any equity. So you're seeing the importance of equity on that side of things. That's what you're referring to essentially.
Just to be clear, my manager, although I call her my manager, that's my business partner.
100%. We're
Brando's
talking about
my Brittany.
Yeah.
My creative partner, Brando, there's no exchanging of work for hire. We own this together. And it doesn't, if the number was 4x what he's making, I wouldn't care. If the same thing with Britt. And I think it oscillates between businesses. Like on EO, I would say I was the CEO, but on AG, Britt's the CEO.
Interesting.
On Peace of Mind Studio, we could be co-CEOs. We're equal partners on all of it. EO flows through Avant Garden, so we own it collectively. And then in terms of like the touring business or the merch business, I mean, these things, if I had done the fall tour, we would have finally made real money for the first time. But it was invest. I think right now I'm like still 300 or 400 grand in the red on the touring business.
Okay.
Yeah. And we did.
So the Emotional Oranges business at the end of the day was in the red? Or is it just on the touring side? Because there's a bunch of different verticals.
On the touring side.
Okay. Okay.
I would say if you cross collateralize it all, it's a few $100,000 in the red. But this is like not talking about publishing, not talking about records, which will eventually recoup, We spent a lot on the debut album and we have a couple of big records that when they come out, I'm sure will. So, and those videos are shot.
Recoup.
Yes.
Yes.
And those are things that me, Val, Britt, and Brando, and we'll all finally make some money off of it. But for the most part,
hold on, record. So there's other records that are still coming out with.
I'm sure when things happen, when certain dominoes fall the way they will, those songs will come out, and they're massive songs.
Okay.
And songs that I believe in a lot.
Okay.
And I've shot really dope video. My favorite videos to date too. But until then, they're sitting on the hard drives.
Well, today, where is Emotional Oranges?
It's it's on a bit of a pause,
Okay.
taking a beat, because for 6 years we were go, go, go from 2019. May of 2019 was our first body of work. November of 2019 was our second body of work.
Great body of work.
Thank you.
Great bodies of work. West Coast love.
Yeah, West Coast love. We're in LA.
Banger.
We're in the best city on the planet. With the best rappers on the planet.
Don't do this.
Kendrick and Tyler, they gotta be two. I really feel like Mount Rushmore has kind of gotten adjusted a little bit.
We're cutting all this, but we're not doing this.
Well,
right
my name Azad means freedom, and I really want to exercise. I know it's hard in this country right now to see that First Amendment at play, the freedom of speech. I really would love for you to keep this. I think Kendrick Lamar is the best rapper on the planet, and I think Tyler the Creator is the best artist on the planet. I'd love for you to keep this in here.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Okay. You're entitled to your own opinion, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
I respect it. I think those are two great artists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're both great artists. One is undeniably the best rapper alive.
Undeniably? We're not doing this. We are not doing this. I am not. No. I'm cutting this out. I'm cutting this out.
Okay.
I'm cutting this out. You're not gonna do Hove like that.
Oh, okay.
You're not gonna do
that's fair.
Hove like that.
I mean, that's fair. That's about it though.
You're bugging.
No, I'm fucking with you.
That's hilarious that you did that.
I try to do it in a tasteful way, but look, I will say this. If you have people around you that believe in your vision and you want to cut them in and create something greater together, I implore you to wrap your arms around those people and never let them go.
Mm-hmm.
And I have two people that if I didn't do music, whatever I do, I would love to do it with them together because we have something that feels really good and it clearly works. So Emotional Oranges right now is 6 years in. It's been a hamster wheel of touring, putting records out. And I feel like just to be able to have something new to say, I want to take a beat, work on my own project. Val's working on her own project right now as well. Obviously there's things here and there that we'll do one-off, so on and so forth, but I'm really excited about the next chapter for me, which is Ghost Pepper Stepper, GPS.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Mm-hmm. So it's all love.
Of course, it's always going to be love.
Yeah.
We've seen the world together 3 times over, played everything from Coachella to Lala to Rockin' the Daisies in South Africa. I mean,
incredible.
Played in Latvia. We were 15,000 people main stage.
Yeah.
But I think everyone, if you're in a group, in a band, everyone would really benefit from experiencing, getting their own creativity, their own expression out there, because you can come back together stronger and have something to talk about too.
Yeah.
You know?
Can I ask what went into the conversation to pull down the tour?
It felt a bit taxing to go out and do the run again. A lot of the rooms were similar sizes. And for us, growth is key.
Growth?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think overall we've sold like over 100,000 records now, 100,000 tickets now globally.
Yep.
So we've touched every goddamn continent. And I felt like the album didn't react in a way that warranted another tour right now. And I think we got stuck on that hamster wheel of every year touring, when sometimes you got to just take a beat and let the records penetrate, pause, and let the fans miss you a bit. Like they don't need to see you every year.
Right.
If fucking Kendrick was coming around every year, I wouldn't maybe I would, but probably wouldn't want to. And touring is not easy. That's why I said to you, the record label shit is real. Owning your rights. I don't want to be 60 years old, two-stepping on stage to the same exact songs. Like I want to go and try something new. Like you're golfing now. How's it feel?
Amazing.
Okay.
It's the one thing I love.
And I just whooped your ass in some ping pong. I just got that. Post breakup Azad, and what I treated myself to wasn't a car or anything. It was a goddamn ping pong table.
You already got a few nice cars, so you're getting a ping pong table.
I have one nice car. Yeah. I got a 911 coming, no pause.
Well, listen, man, we'll play ping pong afterwards. I mean, we'll see the footage. We'll get the content that, you know.
Yeah.
You know, but we'll keep playing, and I'm sure I'll whoop your ass. You know, give me a few games.
Yeah. I got you.
I'll make it close, you know. But you're right. I mean, I think I appreciate that honesty, to be honest with you, man, because putting on a tour is very difficult. And there's a ongoing conversation that touring is where you make real money, but you can, but you can lose a lot too, right? And you said it, you've lost money on touring. You know, that's
because I've done it the right way.
Okay.
Like touring to me isn't going and sucking as much money out of the fans as you can. Touring is going on, putting on a great experience.
What does that mean?
That means we're dialed in from everything on the lights, the visuals, coming up with what is the direction of the visuals? What's the fan experience going to be? What's it smell like when they get in the venue? What's the merchandise you're going to create? Are you doing hybrid cut and sew, hybrid screen print? What's going to make the fan want to be like, I'm going to spend my hard-earned money, get a babysitter, take my girl out to dinner, take my guy, whatever it is, create a night out of this and want to do it again year in and year out.
An entire experience.
An entire experience. And I felt like, truth be told, I felt burnt out. And I didn't feel inspired this go around. I didn't feel like there was anything different that we were offering that warranted me asking you to spend your money and come out.
Yeah.
And it was early enough to where I was like, I've gone on stage when I have food poisoning. Me and Val have, there's been flights canceled and we've taken other flights and landed an hour before our set and made it and done. We've never once missed a show in 6 years.
The fans don't see that stuff either. They don't know how much goes into putting on a show. Just from a physical standpoint, there's a lot that an artist will go through. They'll put their bodies through in order to be able to put on the best show possible.
Yeah.
And I think, I really appreciate you saying you want to give the best experience to the fans as well. But here's the reality. You can afford to do that. A lot of artists can't afford to do that because you are actually seeing revenue being generated in other verticals. You set your whole business up to make sure that if you're taking a couple of $100,000 loss on touring, you're actually not on the overall business because this other side, when it comes to the masters and the copyrights, are generating real revenue. Yeah. You can do that. Most artists that are on a label, if they're not doing cap rooms that are $2,000, $2,500, $3,000,
they're not making money. Yeah.
No. You can't. You have to. I hate to say this, but it's the reality is like, you got to figure out what the price point is to sell to the fan a ticket and how much you can actually generate per person that comes from a show. Mm-hmm. You are, from a business standpoint, you have to look at it as a number a little bit, as unfortunate as it is, because you want to survive. You want to eat. At the end of the day, if you're not making any money off of your masters because you've either done a license and you've done it in advance, or I don't know who's doing royalty deals these days anymore with labels. That doesn't even exist. But I mean, if you do that, like
you're toast.
You're cooked. You're absolutely cooked.
I want to be so blunt with you about my view on touring.
Please.
I think a lot of artists go into the space underdeveloped. They pop off on TikTok and there's no stage development. There's no understanding of creative for the show. They haven't had fan engagement. Y'all, this is me talking directly to you guys. Just do fan meet and greets. Just pop up in the city. If they fuck with you on TikTok for your personality and you got one or two things that go crazy, show up and shake their hands and build with them on a personal level.
Yeah.
Don't put on a show, a performance, something theatrical if you can't deliver.
Yep.
Because everything nowadays gets recorded and saved and it gets burned and etched into people's memory. And some of y'all can't shake the perception that you may have gotten on year 1 or 2 of touring and you were itching. I know I can name one artist right now, who is having a monster moment. Just because you can sell 5,000 tickets in a market doesn't mean you should go and play the 5,000 cap room.
I was just thinking that.
You need to exercise some restraint. If you're not prepared, if you can't deliver a performance at the level that an amphitheater needs, go in and play the club show or play the small theater.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And make it feel hot and sweaty and make motherfuckers leave being like, damn, the super fans got in. The shit blew out in 3 seconds. Yeah. And you left 5,000 tickets at the door.
Exactly.
And you can go back.
That's not an L. That's not an L. That's a W.
That's a dub. The great example of that is Drake. Drake's been able to do stadiums for years, has exercised restraint, will do multiple arenas. His show is more built for an arena, at least the way it is now, than it is a stadium. Mm-hmm. And that's why he can do, I think he did 10 or 12 shows in Germany alone. That's one country, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so I want y'all to have long careers. If you see the pot of gold, sometimes taking the long way Won't hurt you.
It's not sometimes. It's always.
Always. Honestly, yeah.
Always. Because that's an important note as well. You got to know as an artist or as a manager, an executive, and if you're working really closely as a team, you're working for longevity. You know, I never talked about this on the pod, but I remember sitting down with Jay Hope. We had a meeting during that whole time, and he was listening to some of the music, right? And his music didn't come out yet, and we were talking about records that we're going to put out. And then he leans over to me and he says, "Yo, why aren't you?"
What a flex, by the way. I just want just one time for Ho, one time for the greatest rapper of all time.
The GOAT. He's the GOAT.
The GOAT.
And he leans over to me and he's like, "Why aren't you putting this on?" And I, as the music is playing, I said, "On career." And he's like, "You're right." You know? And that's how we've always approached it. That's always.
Are you saying that you were schooling Hov?
No, not at all. No.
That was crazy.
No.
Wait, was that like a subtle flex that you were just telling him how to? Wow.
But to be honest with you, man,
I respect that.
No,
man.
But in reality, man, you know when I realized in this business that everybody's a human and everybody I can hang.
Yeah, of course.
I remember having a conversation with another person who I really admire.
You better flex again.
A little bit.
Who is it?
It's 50.
You were talking to Fifth?
Way before anything happened.
I hope Fifth sees this shit. Fifth, you need me on whatever TV show you do next. I'm definitely the most handsome person he's had on the pod. Definitely the most flyest. This is all Woo Young Me. It's a Korean brand I love. These are, Pharrell brought back the butter softs. I'm just
Maybe somebody will send it to him.
Yeah.
I'd love to have him on this podcast. But and I don't know if he will remember the conversation we had, but I actually remember sitting there having a conversation with him and we were exchanging ideas. It didn't feel like he wasn't listening. And I think that's why the greats are so good. That's why I think Jay's so good. Because when we were sitting down and having a conversation with him, he was more interested in how we were thinking because we were the new kids on the block. And he was like, how do you, he was asking a lot of questions. And it made you feel like there was a real exchange of ideas that can be executed.
Yeah.
And so that's how I felt comfortable to say that, because it wasn't me trying to flex. It was just, this is how we've been thinking about the career. And with Jessie, it was, I knew that this girl can do, big rooms, arenas. Yeah, absolutely. And I think within the next 12 to 18 months, she's going to get there. I do. And
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the show's ready.
Absolutely.
There's a difference. You could do arenas, but you got a boo-boo ass theater show.
But Jessie's been ready.
Yeah.
She's been ready to do that. But I knew when we were doing these 200 cap rooms or 150-person cap room, that these are all underplays, but you got to do it. You got to build it out. And the show back then was just Jessie and Junior T. Shout out Junior. It's my brother.
Wow.
This DJ. But she was.
I missed those.
She was crushing it. She was absolutely crushing it. But we knew what we had. And she knew how good she was. So we're like, okay, look, there's an opportunity to grow the show. And that's what it came down to. And look at her now. Look how developed that presence is. You were there. You saw that.
Yeah, I've seen almost every iteration of that show.
And artists who maintain and who stay in the game all go that same route. They don't skip steps.
Facts.
They never skip steps. So when you're going and you're developing a real artist and a real career, what are some of the other things that somebody should be thinking about? Because we're talking about touring from we went very deep into that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love for you to talk to me just about some other avenues where you're doing artist development here.
Not every artist needs to do merch. Just because you see your favorite artist doing it and building brands, if you're not passionate about product, don't do product.
Yeah, but okay, but
don't just
let me play devil's advocate.
But
what if you got to generate the revenue though? Because say you don't have your masters,
it's going. That's on you. It's going to affect. No, seriously, that's on you. That's the deal you did, and it's gonna. If you do some shit half-assed, it's gonna ring off and bleed into the other verticals.
Yeah.
Let me give you a great example.
Please.
You're a songwriter. You can write 4 songs in a day. You can perform your ass off. You're magnetic on camera, but you don't care about what you wear. You don't care about merchandise. You don't care about press. If I'm you, I double down. I build a real publishing business, writing for other people. You're a songwriter as well for yourself. You could be one for others.
Mhm.
I build a meeting. I hired 2 filmmakers, build out my short form, build out my long form, because I'm magnetic on camera when it comes to my music and performing for the audience. So I tour. I find a scaled down version of my show, like a SWAT team that could fly in and build in markets like Russia, like Eastern Europe and the Baltics, like the Middle East, untapped markets in Asia, all these places. And I don't focus on merchandise because it's not genuine to me. Clothing, I don't spend time hiring fashion publicists and trying to be at all the fashion weeks, all the pop outs, because that's not really part of my brand, right? If this is the archetype of the artist we're talking about, then I invest where I'm seeing the most return, which is every time I put out a song or I go do a show, I see my show double.
Mhm.
I played the 500 cap. I came back and played the 1,000 cap. I've never gone down. But for whatever reason, the merchandise, people aren't juiced up about it because it's very clear that like I'm just stamping my name on something just to make a buck. Or I go to the fashion shows and I'm not really that interested in the designer's journey.
But the fans fuck with the merchandise though, because they want to walk away with something more than just the experience that they had at the show, right?
I think if they leave, I mean, I can name a couple artists that have had really bad experiences with their brand, their merch, the label or the management team slapping on, stamping the yes, and then getting awful, like getting flamed on TikTok for sending shirts that don't look like the designs on your site.
Yeah.
So just don't do it. And like, not all money is good money.
So sorry, what about merch at the shows? Are we talking? Is that is there a difference there that we're talking about?
Merch in general, if clothing isn't a part, if product in that way isn't a part of your brand,
Mhm.
don't double down. Do what you love.
Mhm.
If you love, you're like known for your socks, do some socks.
Right.
But like,
It's the authenticity piece that you're talking about.
do vinyl because that's product and your art direction. You love everything about your music, but you don't want to sell. You're not like you didn't grow up collecting vintage shirts and blah, blah, blah. You're not up on the new designers. You don't give a shit about that. That's not part of you. So don't do it. Like,
Mhm.
just because everyone else is doing it doesn't mean you got to do it.
Mhm.
Just because, like I said, I think all money is not good money. If what other advice can I give?
Well, let's talk about it on the positive. Like on merch is a key component to a lot of businesses for artists. I've never really talked about it much on the pod, but you have,
I care.
You care. I was going to say, not only do you care, but I was going to say you have taste, real good taste.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Clearly. Gonna lose his mind. I see every time I put the coffee down, you're just like, yo, buddy.
No, hey, listen.
It's done. The coffee's done. Don't worry.
I appreciate that. I do care about design. But also,
just can you walk me through a little bit of how you built up the merch side of the business? Especially with EO, you did a really great job.
Thank you. I wanted the brand to stand alone. You know the moment that I felt like we had made it?
I know exactly.
Yeah.
But please talk about it.
The moment that I felt like we had cut through the noise was I was in New York at a meeting in YouTube. And I walked in and we sit down to do a playback and Tuma walks in.
Who's also been on the pod.
Yes, he has. It was a great episode.
Yes.
Shout out to Tuma.
Shout out to Tuma.
And he's like, yeah, so who are y'all? What is this? And Latrice at the time is like, oh, this is Emotional Oranges, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, I thought Emotional Oranges was a clothing brand. They make fire shirts and hoodies. And I looked at Britt and that's when I was like, because honestly, it took a lot to find different manufacturers. We took a lot of L's, but it was worth it. My vision for the brand was always for it to stay. I didn't want it to be band merch. I wanted it to feel like its own entity.
Yes.
Like if you saw it out, like that's why I made candles, and glasses. I was like, we both wear glasses on stage. I wear glasses in real life. This is something really true to me.
Yeah, exactly.
And vinyls, sometimes people can make vinyls for $3, $4, $5 a vinyl. I was making vinyl that was $25 a pop. Holographic, raised, textures. Like it was orange texture on the first one. Like we really went all out. Posters on the inside that resembled the anime that I loved growing. These things, these details these Easter eggs that mattered to me.
Yeah.
And mattered to us. And that ended up doing really well.
Yeah.
And did help kind of offset the touring business.
Interesting.
So to your point, you nailed it. Like, but that's because we really cared.
Yeah.
And but honestly, what I learned about too is you can care about everything, but you can't invest in everything equally. It can't be an all tides rise together approach. If you're getting a bigger return on your investment on the master side, because you're self-sufficient, you can release a lot of music, you have no cost to make the music.
Double the fuck down.
Double the fuck down.
Yeah.
If you're waiting on samples and your people aren't shipping shit out properly and their fans are upset, stop investing in the merch shit like you're investing in the music.
Can you tell me about a time, because you're talking about doubling down on certain things and then saying no to some other things. Can you tell me a time? What?
Am I self-snitching right now? Go ahead.
No, not at all. But I think, no, I don't think so. But I think it's important because you said not all money is good money. The fact that we're going into this artist development and we're going deep into the weeds of it is amazing. But you alluded to something earlier and you were talking about artist burnout. I love to talk about that because that's something that is talked about a bit, but not talked about enough. How do you avoid it? And when it does happen, what's the best approach to take to move forward when something like that happens?
I think being really intentional with your time, just given like it's the only true, it's a commodity at this point, your time, especially like when you're in your 20s, your 30s, like just because you see everybody doing something doesn't mean you have to run in that same direction.
Yeah.
I think run towards the things that are calling you, run towards the things that are fulfilling you. But it's a dangerous cycle to do, record. And like a lot of people don't even make the record and then talk about a plan or do creative and roll it out. A lot of people set the deadline of we're going to put it out in February. And then they make whatever they can make and they put it out. Back in the day, it used to be very different. You would work on something that you were incredibly proud of. And so it kind of by de facto avoided burnout because you were like given an album budget and sometimes you can go back and you can get more if you were on the right track.
Mm-hmm.
But now you have to meet that quota in order to meet your tour, in order to get the festival offers you want to get, because you got to get the hard tickets up on this side of the year to get the festivals that you want next year, in order to get the features you want, because some of the times those features don't have windows of releasing when you want to release later on. So you're playing this like
calculated kind of game that
it's a perpetual, it's a revolving door of catching up.
Yeah.
You're always reactive. And so I think burnout happens when you start to feel like it's not really your choice anymore. And you're just doing what you feel like you have to do in order to maintain a career.
Mm-hmm.
And for everyone that feels different. For me, that was this last tour. Because my whole life I was like scared to take my foot off the gas because I felt like somebody was behind me. Pause. And I think looking in the rear view for that long can be deadly. You know, sometimes you got to just get off the freeway, take the scenic route for a bit, remind yourself, refresh yourself as to why you're doing it. And yeah, I just think that like when you're really doing what's honest to you, it should feel like energizing.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas a lot of the time I found myself doing things just because other people were doing them or other people that I trusted were telling me to do them in order to reach a goal that I obviously had a part in setting, but it's not realistic.
Generally wasn't something that you wanted to do.
I want to be able to change and impact people's lives, especially people that grew up the way that I did, that look like me and my friends growing up, brown kids, black kids, like whoever that needed a voice, someone to look at to be like, all right, if he could do it, I can do it. You know, and that's why I think now I'm really excited to talk about more about the business, about what I experienced and why. I think my longevity as an artist has a lot to do with caring about learning about my business, because there was a lot of opportunities I feel like a lot of people would have given up under the circumstances that I was in.
Yeah. You kept it going.
But yeah, that's the name of the game. I think anyone great will always say that, like, the people that made it are just the ones that didn't give up.
That's real shit. That's in anything. That's in life, my friend. But it's especially true in this business.
Yeah.
But when you get to that place, well, you did get to that place, and this is not the first time that you've experienced burnout. You know, you got to that place, if you don't mind me saying, and I know I can say this because we're boys.
Yeah.
We're good friends. But you got there in and about the pandemic, but of that came peace of mind, which is a beautiful part of your business.
Thank you.
I'd love to talk about this here. How did you handle the burnout? Obviously, you handled it by developing peace of mind, but I think there's a lesson learned through that story. Can we talk about that?
It wasn't sexy to talk about like mental health or just your overall general health even 5 or 6 years ago. Like you were like a lame. You were considered weak if you were showing signs of weakness in that way. And for me, I grew up on equal parts like Brian Eno and Harold Budd, but then Dilla and Madlib. Instrumental music of all kinds has always been really present in my life. And my partners, you know, Britt, she sleeps to rain sounds. Brando, I mean, we all have different forms of meditation and what we find calming and peaceful. And I think especially at that time where in 2020, we had Coachella same weekend as Frank. We had Lala, Life is Beautiful. We had a global tour. And then this shit went to fucking smithereens in 24 hours. Just like you guys had the Billy tour and the album and no. Like
we had Coachella same year.
Same year.
Yeah.
And I think Peace of Mind Studio has allowed me to be of service. And I find a lot of fulfillment in helping build not just something with my friends, but helping build things for other people.
Yep.
And so I've been able to help build a few now, sub-labels. And we at Peace of Mind this year are going to help contribute, 20 to 25 artists are going to make 6 figures.
What kind of music is it? What's the bit like? What? Yeah,
I would say fundamentally it's ambient music.
Okay,
but I would classify it under instrumental music because some could be neoclassical, solo piano, could have string components. Some could be proper ambient experimental. A lot of what Yanni from Child does and PLU would be considered alternative or experimental ambient music. Drones, very calming synths. Then there's things that are going to be much more on the hip hop side, like lo-fi beats, which obviously I think AI has now come in and really taken a lot of the class and a lot of the prestige out of, beat. I mean, outside of Alchemist, and there's a lot of artists and producers doing great shit.
Yeah.
But there's like a lot of fake artists in the lo-fi space.
Does that shit affect your business?
Not really.
No,
because our thesis when we were deep diving, it was a lot of the music that was coming out was from Swedish white males.
Yeah.
Like I think it's like 98% at the time. And we were doing this by just looking at chart metric, looking at the playlist, seeing where it was flowing to. And we thought, damn, I mean, we got all this time, between Child and all this shit, all the touring that we don't have to do anymore. We can't do, right? And so we started to, chip away at, but what would a really interesting, innovative ambient record sound like? It doesn't got to be this stock ass music library throwaway. It could be, and like, it could be great photography and great, some of the stuff could be animated. And like Brando really put his foot in the creative, and me and Britt really did deep A&R work. And we're like, let's go and research what's working, why is it working, and where are the opportunities?
Yeah.
And I think the biggest key was at that point, I was 5 years in to delivering to the DSPs and just the partners, genre bending artists that didn't fit into a perfect mold. And a lot of those editors ended up becoming the editors for experimental music, lo-fi beats, ambient, all this stuff. And they understood the level of quality that I was coming with. My whole career, I never took the shortcuts, never took the easy money.
Yeah.
And so sure enough, brick by brick, like I said, I think this year will be, 20, 25 artists that we help make over 6 figures. There's artists and producers that I've worked with that are Grammy winning that will call me and say, and one of them was in tears being like, yo, I made more money off DistroKid this month than I made on X person's Grammy winning album that I had 3 cuts on. That is a different level of, I even got chills just saying that. That makes me feel like I'm impacting someone's life. Now you can provide for your family, build infrastructure for the future of your kids. And you're doing something that also you feel like is reaching people and adding value to them.
Yeah.
There's utility and real function to a lot of this music. It's helping people sleep, helping them meditate, and I think right now in this time, we need that more than ever. And we were early on that. I think now it's much more common that like people are searching out podcasts and content to help them to just take the edge off. Pause.
The artist that you're partnering with is basically 50-50?
The key here is it's actually, in most cases, a gross. So a 50-50 net profit works in which if you make $1, you recoup at 50 points, right? You're not recouping at the dollar. We're doing gross deals. We didn't know at the time, but I think through a couple of the JVs that we've done with Universal and with Warner, I think they pitch you on the 50-50 net profit. And if you don't know any better, you're like, oh, I'm getting half of the pot. No, but you're recouping. But all the artists that we work with.
You're recouping, sorry, just so you finish that thought, you're recouping 2-1.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's if you're at a 50-50 net profit.
At a 50-50, yeah.
And that's not including the distribution fee that's getting tacked on top for services that aren't being rendered anymore. There's there's no warehouse that's shipping out your CDs to the Tower Records. Stop with the nonsense.
Where's the streaming distribution warehouse? I'd love to see it.
Same place that they're hiding the farms.
Right. Whew.
Yes, but sorry, they're on a 50-50 gross.
Yeah.
So
meaning if you spend $1, if you spend $1,
basically they don't stand behind any costs. They're getting a split directly from DistroKid with no recoupment attached to it. That's basically what's happening. Okay. So if we spend on your project, we're recouping that cost ourselves. It's not hitting your books.
Interesting.
It's real.
Yeah, okay.
And obviously a lot of the deals.
So hold on. Explain that to me just a little bit, because you're saying if you're going and you make $1, artist is going to get 50 cents out the gate, no matter how much money you spent with that.
Let me give you an example of a real case scenario.
Please.
Yanni from Child was in Paris working on a project that actually came out today. Obviously this will come out in a couple months, but the project came out end of September. It's called Interspace Paris.
Yeah.
And it's inspired by the way that he experienced Paris. He made an ambient project under the name Inner Sound Machine.
Mm-hmm.
All the studios that we booked, he doesn't recoup. He's getting paid from $1. That's it. If we spend money on the photography, we're spending it, you don't got to recoup it. Now, I will say, not every deal is the same. And we've done everything from 70-30s all the way to 50-50s.
How do you become profitable with that model though, with this specific one?
You put in the work. I would say in this space, we are of the highest quality. You know, like I would say right now, it feels like late 2000s, early 2010s XL Records with the taste level and the way that we're developing artists in this space.
So you're able to do this because you're generating real revenue.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I'm proud of that. I'm not like hiding. I'm not shying away from, like, let me give you another example of an artist I'm really passionate about. He's not on Peace of Mind Studio, but he kind of lives between Avant Garden and Peace of Mind Studio.
Yeah.
It's a kid called Frick Tao,
Genius.
a Vietnamese, Danish artist, fucking brilliant, speaks 4 languages,
Genius.
classically trained at guitar and piano, just blew out his shows with no music out in London and Paris. We put out his first single, it's called Runaway, with a music video.
Yeah.
Song has done 2 million streams, not $1 spent on the song, just organically.
Yeah.
And we got a body of work coming.
He's incredible. For those who don't know, he's like this generation's Ludovico Einaudi.
Wow. Or it could be
surpass.
Yeah.
Potentially. But I mean, it's that level of.
Yeah. And he looks like a rapper.
Right.
And when I'm at like King's Cross or whatever with them, fans are interacting and he's engaging with them like Kai Cenat.
Yeah.
He was on Speed Stream.
Yeah.
You know, so like, I love the duality of like, he's helping revolutionize a space that is very traditional and archaic in its motion.
Sure.
And bringing in the new school into it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like.
And so that business, but because I want to make sure, because you given that example as a business example.
50-50.
Okay.
50-50. And he's a very unique deal. No, his deal is a little different because he wanted a stipend monthly to be able to live. So most deals on the Peace of Mind Studio side.
Smart.
Very smart. He wanted his money, and that's also what we're weaving in is like financial literacy in this, because at the end of the day, we want you to own something.
Yeah.
We want you to make bread for as long as possible.
Yeah.
And so he's getting like and he's 22, 23, he's getting fucking, I don't know, 4 or 5 grand a month to live and survive and write and record. And he's taken care of for the next however many years. And I think his EP will recoup his entire deal on week 1.
On your side, because the recoup
on his side too.
Okay.
Like, because obviously he's,
oh, right.
you know,
he's basically a version of advancing
yes.
some of the capital.
And it makes me really happy because I feel like at the end of this, he's going to understand, he's going to have the information and the tools to be able to make the right decisions. Because a lot of the time you go to the label and they almost hide the golden nuggets from you.
Yeah.
Because they're afraid you're going to go and do it without them.
Right.
If this is a launch pad for your career, I did my job. I want you to choose every time. Every deal on Peace of Mind Studio is non-exclusive. It's project-based. There's mutual options because if you love working with me and I love working with you, we should keep going. If you don't, good riddance. And there hasn't been a single artist that's opted out.
Amazing.
20 plus artists, not one has opted out. That to me speaks, that's the kind of, I don't buy into the legacy bullshit. I just buy into like history and the kind of impact that I'm leaving. That's the kind of shit I want to be known for. We're doing quality work and you have a choice and you're continuing to stay.
Mm-hmm.
Project on project, year over year.
Mm-hmm. How big is this business? Some people are going to say, oh, no, he's pocket watching, but this isn't pocket watching. This is financial literacy. This is what the podcast is about.
Yeah.
People need to understand how real this can be.
Yeah. I would say, so if I said to you, 20 artists are going to make 6 figures a year, that means that we also made 20 artists worth of 6 figures a year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a multi-million-dollar business.
Good for you, man. Congrats.
Thank you.
That's incredible.
Thank you.
And what I love about it,
and the employees that we work with have a stake in the game, have skin in the game.
Yeah.
You know, and they're incredibly happy. And we treat it like a startup in the sense of, at some point, there's going to come a time where we're going to want to partner with someone. That day will come. It could come in 3 months, 6 months, 5 years. I don't know. But at some point, I want this thing to, right now, it's not the right time for it to scale. But if we have an opportunity to revolutionize the entirety of, let's call it instrumental music, so jazz, classical, ambient, all that,
yeah,
and go for it, I want the people on our team to also have that incentive to do it with us.
Does it complicate things when other forms of capital are partnering up with other companies, VCs, whatever it may be, because the catalog has so many different entry points per artist in terms of what the splits are? Or is it
doesn't
pretty
matter.
cut and dry?
It's really cut and dry. The biggest thing is a lot of music in this space is contingent on playlists, on editorial.
Right.
And if you're able to build something that has an ad vertical, has a live vertical, eventually maybe some of them have a merch vertical, let's call it recession proof.
It's funny because so often when we're talking about artists and on this podcast, I've said this pretty blatantly in the last few episodes.
Yeah.
Editorial doesn't matter. This is the one space.
Yeah.
I know editorial is incredibly important.
Yes, absolutely. And I think editorial has multiple lenses. Tastemakers exist in this space in a lot of places. The jazz festivals globally aren't run by people like, Houston Powell, who runs Lollapalooza, people that are forward thinking and willing to take risk. Right now, you're watching Leve do 3 nights at Crypto. This is a traditional jazz artist, sure, with a pop vocal, that's doing hundreds and thousands of tickets globally. That to me, Berlioz, another example of like a jazz house artist doing hundreds and thousands of tickets globally. FKJ doing hundreds and thousands of tickets globally. If you invest in this space, like I think people have been relegated, artists in this space have been relegated to be treated as musicians. If I could have it my way, we would give every great musician a chance to, like Dominique Xavier got plucked by Prince to play piano, did Snow Allegra, did Toto, helped me with EL. I mean, he's done so many things. His project is doing 150,000 streams a day. His solo piano project.
With you?
Yes, with us.
Wow.
I want to be a part of, I want to equal the playing field.
How many streams is the catalog doing a day?
I don't know, but I want to say at this point it's more than 10 million a day. I don't know. Yeah. Thank you. This fucking guy. Anyone that can do math out there is like sitting there crunching numbers. All you goddamn internet wizards telling me what we're making. We're spending and we're splitting it, okay?
I just think it's important. Again, man.
No, I'm proud of it.
I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you.
And I don't think I just hate that narrative of pocket watching, to be honest. And it comes from our culture a lot. And it really stifles individuals to really think about the business side. That's all, and that's all it is, man. It really is, because it's genuinely curious, because this is a real fucking business that you can build and develop. Yeah. And the reason why I ask is to complicate things when you come and bring in other partners who want to inject type of capital. It's because I think a lot of the people in this business will think that it is a zero-sum game and you should have all the profits, and you don't want to split it with your artist because they make it seem like it's too complicated if you have ownership.
We came in and we raised the ceiling for this music, the quality of music, the quality of art direction required to cut through.
Yeah.
In the past, it's been like, I'm not kidding you, it's been like a dumpster fire. It's the graveyard of creativity. That's why it wasn't sexy enough for someone to want to come in and revolutionize it. I take a lot of pride that we're going to leave ambient music, experimental music, hopefully jazz and classical, a lot better than when we came in. And a lot younger too, and a lot more diverse in the way that it looks and feels. Like have you been to Silencio in Paris?
No.
The David Lynch inspired spot?
No.
Yeah, so seeing like good looking kids in their young 20s come watch Frick Tao play and leaving wanting to pick up a piano. Like there's like a piano in the side room, and there's like, after the show, people are playing it, like his fans are playing it. There's a video on his YouTube channel that your fans should go check out. He's inspiring people to pick up an instrument again. Mm-hmm. That juices me up.
Yeah.
Like it's great to like level the playing field and give people resources, artists or people that were viewed as session musicians, access to resources to become owners in their own right and artists and producers in their own right. But even more is like the ceiling is going to get bigger. And so that all of us can benefit from it.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you smiling at me like that?
I just love it. I love it because I think this is...
For y'all that can't see, he was like smile. He was giving me like a devious smile.
No, it's not a devious smile. You're talking about things that nobody talks about in this music business. And you're creating this lane. I'm smiling like this because you're creating this lane that just hasn't existed for young people. People don't think about it that way. And I think I just love that it feels like a bit of an exclusive here. You know what I mean? But it's going to get to a point where this becomes, in my opinion, because you're also leading the charge, very, very much found a blue ocean where it can hit critical mass. It's just the reality. So I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm proud of our artists. I'm proud of our team. And truthfully, it's just the beginning.
Yeah, clearly.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I see Frick Tao and Yanni and PL, and I might sound nuts, but I see them playing arenas.
No, I mean, it's already happening, but it's just at a different demographic.
Yeah. And I think it's going to be cool. I think it's going to be cool to smoke something and go watch a fire-ass ambient.
That's what I'm saying.
Set.
That's how I'm laughing. Yeah. That's fire.
I'd love Emmanuel from We Love Green. Emmanuel runs Because Music in Paris. We Love Green is one of my favorite festivals in the world. I would love you, OG, to give me a festival stage by the water, partner up with some gummy company, THC and stuff like that, and let our artists cook. Can you imagine Bon Iver doing an 1.5-hour ambient set?
Mm-hmm.
Fred again?
Mm-hmm.
Like people that are proper improv producers, musicians that can really play an instrument.
You see it going there.
It's going to go there one way or another. I just want to be a part of it,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm just as juiced up as I was when I discovered Dot in 2008. I feel like this is And I get to work with who I view as the Kendricks and the Nunanas of the genre. Like Yanni and PL from Child are second to none. Frick Tao, second to none. And it's not just about the way that the musicianship, it's about there's a unique creative like perspective that because of the way they came up producing for other artists, not being the focal point, that I think ends up shaping their art.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that they're empowering. I mean, their labels right now are doing 1 million streams a day, 1.5 million streams a day.
Their labels?
Yes. PL Ryu has a label called
With You.
Yes, called Voix la Montagne, which is View from the Mountain. It's inspired by his dream was to always have, we're putting out actually an Amazon original, first ambient Amazon original since Brian Eno. PL, we did a documentary in Lucerne in Switzerland. And he said something so fucking profound. He was like, my dream was always to move and have a studio that has a view of the mountain because that was freedom to me. He has a studio now with the view of the fucking mountain.
That's what's up.
Yanni and Lauren, who run Inner, they're doing, I want to say they're doing, literally 1 million, 1.5 million streams. Yanni, sorry, Lauren, sorry for putting your business on Front Street, but 1 million, 1.5 million streams a day.
Wow. Incredible.
So it's possible, and build with your people, empower your people, pour into them, and keep reinvesting as well. I think that's the other thing too. Like, take your profits and try, like in the beginning, live is very expensive, but I think live, what it does is it establishes credibility. It legitimizes the streaming. Just like when we put out the EO projects, we put up 6 shows, they all blew out, the Mod Club show, like all these things. People coming out to seeing us, they ended up not just being a number on the screen anymore, or like a stream anymore. And that, I think, is that's critical where we are right now with Peace of Mind Studio. Let's bring it to real life.
You're talking about partnerships. Is this something that you would ever partner up with a major label? Why are you smiling?
You're not serious, are you?
I'm dead ass.
When you say partner with a major, you mean like when they coax you into doing a JV, making you think that you own half when they really own the copyright and tack on their 18 to 20% distribution fee on top of the 50-50 and then pay you pennies on the dollar ex-US. That's what you mean?
I'm going to take that as a no.
Oh, sorry. No, that was just train of thought. No, absolutely not.
Walk me through what you just said there. Which has been discussed a little bit on this pod. Shout out to Chris. Chris talked about this.
I think
Chris Anakute, I should say. Yeah.
I think a lot of artists at the right time need a major to mobilize them globally when they got something that's actually moving globally. Something that justifies you and your team not having to get up at 5 a.m. to do calls with Singapore because you got something going ballistic in Southeast Asia. But very few of y'all are actually going to get and actually warrant that attention and time from them. I guess I would just flip the question on its head. What could a major do for me and for Peace of Mind Studio that we can't do ourselves? We don't need their resources when it comes to DSB pitching. We don't need their resources when it comes to the relationships with creatives, whether it be film, video, live, development, any of that. We don't need their relationships when it comes to developing artists, directly finding the artists, the musicians, the producers, the space in which they make the music. And we definitely don't need their money. So what is it that they can do for us that we can't do ourselves?
I mean, everybody says everybody's got a price.
No.
To come with a bag of like 10?
No.
50?
No. What I would be more interested in, when I say I mean we, is from somebody in the independent sector that would allow us to do our thing, provide some air cover, fill a couple holes. For us, I think investing in team is really important.
Yeah.
And to get the right
people.
Like jazz and classical specifically aren't my forte. I feel like I'm an expert now at ambient.
Interesting.
But jazz is a very dense and layered genre. And classical is a genre that's very rich in history. And I can't speak to it I'm not a master of it. I can speak to hip hop and R&B and to ambient and pop and as a lover, but also as someone that's making it and doing it myself, it's hard to get people that are great 1, 2, 300 grand. Those become partnerships. So ideally, someone in the independent sector that specializes in those, that would be awesome because that could lift the tides. And if they want to at the same time take risk off the table, great. But I'm more interested in, like how can you pour back in to make this thing last longer, have more longevity, but also scale? If a festival came and said, hey, we want to partner, if Coachella came and said, yo, we want to partner on Yanni's next release, we want equity in that, small piece of equity. But in return, we'll have Yanni program an entirely ambient driven set at Gobi or Sahara on one day. I know Yanni, I know Britt, and I know myself would snap call that. Yes, absolutely. Because you're providing something to us that's access. We can't get that access without y'all. You said everyone has a price. I mean, the price for me is like integrity. It's taking risk off the table and working with people that actually would like put the battery in our backs. And I would say to date, I haven't experienced that at the majors in the 2 JVs that we've done.
Do you think that needs to change at some point for it to... What do you think of the majors in this day and age and how they operate?
I think it's all based on the artist, building a bespoke team that makes the most sense. I think Era 1, Chappell Roan wasn't the right fit for the major. I think when she found her voice and wrote the song, she was the right fit for the major. She was making global pop fucking smashes, and that machine you want to be able to galvanize people globally. And they got offices in every country.
Why do you do this?
That's just the bullshit pitch they always give you.
Yeah.
But 99.9% of the artists that sign to a major.
Hold on. Tell me why it's the bullshit pitch that they give you.
Well, they want to make it seem like you can't do it on your own. We got the expertise. But what they don't tell you is if you do your deal in the US, Southeast Asia and Asia in general won't be as incentivized to work which will be the domestic repertoire for the US, as they would to work their own domestic repertoire.
Why?
Because they're getting 10x the revenue from that local artist. So that means you need to be doing 10x local artist, local repertoire earnings to justify even a 1-to-1.
Mm-hmm.
Why would they take their foot off the gas with an artist they own wholly and they're on the ground with day in and day out to prioritize you? Unless you got something that's undeniable, that's working everywhere, and their people in the office could look like, yeah, we got to win. I helped break Chappell Roan. No, you fucking didn't. There's so many people that I meet that'll be like, I worked on X, Y, and Z team. I worked on Georgia Smith's team. And I'm looking them in the eye and I'm like, but I know Zubin and I know the team at FAM. And you wouldn't say this in front of them. That's just an example. That's not really that's not a real situation, but there's been a ton of real situations where people are taking credit for work they didn't do.
Yeah, that's a fact. It happens in this business all the time. And I think there's a
You got me out here really killing them. Fuck. I feel bad, but I don't feel bad at the same time.
Why would you feel bad? Being honest. What's the point of the pod? What's the point of the conversation? Are you throwing names under the bus? No.
Yeah, no.
Is it a corporation that does this? Yes. Is it a specific one? No. Why? Because they all do it. Why? IPOs, public. That's just the name of the game.
My goal is if they can leave
who
this
am I helping?
episode.
Because I get fired up about this. Like,
yeah.
Who are we helping here?
The artists.
Yeah. The people who want to get into the business are trying to build a real business and not get finessed.
But
right?
I want to be honest though.
Yeah.
Some of y'all need the major. Some of y'all.
That's unequivocally absolutely correct.
Some of y'all are not creative. You don't have money. You're not entrepreneur. Yeah. And y'all need the major.
Yes, absolutely.
So take your ass to the major. Stop fucking masquerading around like this independent, like Robin Hood. That's not you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not La Russell. You're not Tech Nine.
Mm-hmm.
You're just not. You're not who you're portraying to be. But you make great music.
Yeah.
And your manager might be lazy. Your manager might not be cut in on the equity side. So why the fuck would he wake up at 5 a.m. to talk to Singapore. Just being real, I wouldn't do it if I was him either. Even if your show money was crazy, what's it gonna take for me to give away my free time to get on and work a record that I don't own in a country that I don't have any expertise in?
Mm-hmm.
The easy way out would be for me to go to the major, whore you out to a specialist, catch my quick commission, because I might not believe in you because you're not entrepreneurial. I don't see a long-term, I'm speaking as a potential manager looking at an artist. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah,
Why some managers go and do these deals when they know it's the wrong fucking thing to do. They don't feel safe. So if the artist and the manager actually have alignment and they're both in it for the long run and they both have skin in the game, the amount of bad deals that are happening won't happen.
I'll play devil's advocate on that as well too. And just to be clear, that alignment doesn't necessarily have to be the equity, because there are still managers that will do stuff with commissions, but they know that the relationship is rock solid, where that artist more than likely won't let them go, especially if they're gonna rise through the ranks and get to the arenas.
I agree.
But to your point, those label deals still do matter. But I will say, because you need to have the right infrastructure to be able to build it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it can happen with certain labels. I think, I said what I said about the reality when it comes to these majors.
Yeah.
Or what we're saying here. Fucking, I'm saying it. But I also agree. I agree that there are artists and managers that cannot do this themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to do a label situation. But I will say this, if you are going to do a label situation, you got to understand, what is it worth? Because we can sit here and we can talk about having equity and ownership in the masters at all times. But what if the deal doesn't call for that? What if the deal says, no, we get the copyrights, but we're going to give you the resources, we're going to give you a really good advance, we're going to give you the money. Are you going to turn that down? Case by case, right?
But just know what you're getting into.
Exactly. You got to know what you're getting yourself into.
And don't let them, like, if you're a fucking conscious lyricist, don't go sign to the pop specialist label because they don't have any conscious lyricists. Go where they know what to do with you.
That's a good point.
Like, just go with it. Like, go where you're actually loved. Like, go where they're living.
Yeah. Because some people will feel like, oh, they don't have that there, so they're going to actually really
I'll be the face of that.
Yeah.
But then you go there and, like, everyone's like,
doesn't know what the fuck is.
What are we talking about? Like, you don't listen to what you're not living.
Yeah.
You're not in the community of what I'm trying to build.
Yeah.
I think that's the key too. I think as an artist, as a manager, as a whatever, just go meet everybody from the janitor to the CEO. Ask the right questions.
Hell yeah.
Would you, if you wouldn't go out to dinner with your product manager, if you wouldn't kick it with your A&R, if they don't want to kick it with you, that's all you need to know.
Yeah.
The person with the biggest bag is very seldomly the right person. In most cases, the one that's coming and saying, I'll give you the majority of my time because I know what to do with this, and I'll invest what it takes, but you're not going to get the most money up front. That's probably the right deal.
I saw, what's her name again? She was the co-CEO with Omar at Rock.
Sherry, maybe?
Yeah, is that her name?
I think so. Sherry Bryant.
Sherry Bryant. Yeah, I saw a really good clip that she posted today where back in the day, it wasn't just the A&R that was in the studio session. It was the marketing A&R. We're both in the studio session, sleeping there. It was
getting to learn the DNA, what the fuck you're working on.
Exactly. You are, it's unnegotiable.
Yeah.
Like non-negotiable. You had to be in the studio to really understand and be able to speak the language to the label and be able to market this product to the general public.
You know what my dream is for A&Rs and even marketing people too?
Yeah.
There's got to be, you know how like in Cali, you got the motherfucking driver's license test and you got to do X, Y, and Z. I feel like there's going to come a time where, especially with AI, the developments now, the past 18 months, A&R, because it stands for artist and repertoire, right? But not everyone is qualified. If you're a data scientist and a researcher, you shouldn't call yourself an A&R. A&R needs to have some level of barrier to entry. I'm not saying it's got to be a test, but like, you got to love music, and how you show that you love music or whatever community you're trying to, if you're like a hip hop A&R, like know your history.
Yeah, what would you qualify as a great A&R?
Who would I qualify, or are you saying what are the
Both?
I mean, this is cliche at this point because everyone knows, but I remember when I first met Tunji, and this is in 2009. He was an amazing rapper. I feel like most people don't know that. He said something really ill. He was like, you know, when I heard Kendrick, I realized like I wasn't equipped to be the best anymore. So what did he do? He started working on projects like that.
Yeah.
Why do I think he's, you know, one of the best A&Rs really of my time is because he lives it. He's still hungry and curious for what's cracking.
That's a fact.
That is. I mean, there's a lot of really great executives.
I'll see like artists that I think I'm early on, and I'll go and I'll look. But yeah, Tunji's following him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, super early.
And he's not just following him; he's helping him. He tried to get me a Freddie Gibbs feature in 2011, dog.
All the time. Yeah.
That's how long he goes back with some of these people.
Right.
And he's never expecting something in return. People could say whatever they want about where Def Jam has been or where it's going. You can't deny this man's ear, his care for the quality of artists, and also the wins. Bryson Tiller, Khalid alone. And then let's not talk about like the amount of effort he's put in to help add fuel to the fire on the TDE side. You know, all the things he's done with Money Long, now at Def Jam.
Yeah.
So he's the person that I would say, and also artists respect him because he was a dope artist.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was saying kind of about like the great qualifier is like,
I don't necessarily know if that's a necessity because I think most people now, artists who know him, don't even know that he was an artist before. He's just intuitively understands the trials and tribulations of an artist because of that, right? And he still wears that hat. I don't want to speak for the man, but that's how I feel. You know, every time you have that conversation with him, he's very dialed in. He
still feels like he's 25, 26. He's more tapped in than most 25-year-olds I know.
Listen, that guy talks about music not like a business, but music.
Yeah, and he cares.
Cares tremendously.
But I will say though, Ruiz, if I had to pick my type of A&R, and I think a lot of artists would probably agree, there's a reason why the super producer, the Timbaland, Jimmy Jam, and Terry Lewis, and we can go all the way to Pharrell and I mean, there's so many incredible, those producers, there's a reason why they were able to cultivate the talent they were. There's a reason why they had multiple artists hit, is because they understood the importance of developing a sound. They understood how to not just produce. There's beat makers and there's people that are producing trajectories. And those people, to me, are incredible A&Rs. Tim isn't just a beat maker or a producer. He was, and to me still is, one of the best A&Rs of that time. Pharrell, same thing. Hove, same thing. You know, on the complete other side. He knew what it took. He had great taste.
Yeah.
He was a proper businessman.
He's an artist, yeah. Rihanna.
Come on.
Yeah.
Gave Fab Make Me Better. Did you hear this story?
Rihanna?
No. Hove gave Fab the song Make Me Better.
No.
Yeah.
Tell it.
I mean, it's not my story to tell, but like it's out there on the web.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, bro. I think that I would, and this is why they're doing it. This is why a lot of these distribution companies, whatever the fuck that means, are putting the battery in the back of people like me and Britt. Honestly, I haven't had hits like that, but they're giving us wild deals and opening the door to really whatever, you write your own deal type shit, because they don't develop anymore.
Not giving you, offering you mean? Yeah, like
well,
you haven't
no. I mean, with Avant Garden, we have a distribution partnership with Sony right now, going through the orchard.
Why'd you laugh?
No, I was laughing because I think that in this day and age, there isn't development. And so they're investing in the people that are developing, which I think is the right thing to do. But instead of going to business people, I would just encourage those labels to also go to music people, because then you're putting people in the position of power that care about the actual art form, that are living it every day.
Do you think your blueprint could be replicated?
What's my blueprint?
Well, with peace of mind?
No, because to me, it's just investing in great artists.
Okay.
It's just
taste. There's a version of that though, that could be.
I think it's happening right now in every genre. It's happening in country. I'm hoping it's going to happen again in hip hop. It's definitely happening in R&B. It's happening in pop. I mean, look at the fucking research between Chapel,
Island.
Yeah, pop is having a fucking
moment and a half. Yeah,
but that's because there was investment.
Yeah.
So where you invest, where you water your fucking seeds, they're gonna grow. So if you're not investing in development and you're expecting people to show up fully developed, you're kind of a jackass.
Speaking of development, because it's early days, and we're going to talk about this early days, about some things that you've been developing along the way. But you alluded to it, you talked about it.
Yeah.
Ghost Pepper Stepper, GPS.
Yeah.
Extra Hot Coffee. Two things that you are passionate about. I'd love for you to talk about that.
Absolutely. Extra Hot Coffee developed because every city we were touring in, I'm just a coffee snob, and I would look on TikTok and look on Reels and find out where fools are gassed up, and I make these little spreadsheets, and I would do the proximity to the hotel and to the venue, and then me and one of my good friends, Jesse, would go and we would try coffee. And I'm the type of person, I'll leave the coffee, I'll pay for it, but if it's not up to par, I would just leave it. And so we started to just try 2 or 3 in each city, just off so many of them not being. And I was like, you know what? Where's the curation when it comes to coffee? And I also thought about, I love long form interviews. I love getting to know people. I have a lot of friends that are really interesting all over the world at this point. And I thought, what better way? I mean, you go to coffee with people anyways.
Long form interview. That's what he's talking about here.
Oh my God.
Long form.
And I also thought about, like, this is a big piece of I do this I'm the guy that turns like all the passionate hobbies into like businesses.
Yeah, same. But Extra Hot Coffee is not long form.
Yeah.
Are you going to turn it into long form?
It's going to be sub 20-minute episodes. And I've shot 26 of them, because my goal is I want to put out one every other week for a whole year and not have to think about it.
Yep.
I'm following suit from a very good young man that I know. And then on the off weeks, I want to put out one Ghost Pepper Stepper song and video. And I want to be able to put out one piece of content a day. And I'm trying to practice what I preach, because if I can do this, then there's no excuse for the people that I work with, because we have all the same resources. We have the same teams. And it's also like experimenting. Like, I'm down to fail. So like, I'm going to do quarter by quarter, and I'm going to try different things and learn from my learnings.
With GPS and Extra Hot Coffee? Yeah.
And I'm not going to stop. I'm so used to like stopping and restarting, and you lose momentum.
Tons.
So instead, just make something, love it, be done with it, feel really great about it, and then let go and get the fuck out of the results.
And just so we're clear, GPS is music. This is
Ghost Pepper Stepper's music and visuals.
Yeah.
Which is why I was in Berlin, Paris, and Amsterdam. I was shooting videos in each place, making music in each place. And the biggest thing for me was recording without a curfew, recording with like almost with no return ticket. Because I think a big part of creativity in the past that's been tough for me is I got a tour that I know is upcoming, for example. Or I know I got a deadline on an album. Right now, I'm making things with no deadline. So it's very free flowing. It's very fluid.
What I love about your career, man, is you're not afraid to start over. There's like 4 or 5. This is like 5th iteration of Azad that I've gotten to know in the last decade.
It's also fun.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun. And I needed to find that again. Because, and I make it sound like I'm so fucking old, but like, you know, when you're in your mid-30s, I sound like a little bitch. When you're in your mid-30s.
I thought you were going to let that slide.
When you're in your mid-30s and you've been doing music since like, I was an intern since I was 18, 19.
Yeah.
I'm like a young OG now. how do I make myself feel like that 18, 19-year-old again?
Big bro.
Big bro.
Don't give yourself OG. You're not.
Nah,
not
but
quite
like, you know, we're Unc for real.
No, big bro.
Big bro.
It's levels. Big.
Yeah.
You're in big bro.
Mm-hmm.
Unc is next. OG, and then
then you're just
cooked. Elder.
Yeah, you're just cooked. No, but I also think that this will allow me to age gracefully. I just hate when I see like my favorite artists, and they're doing like lame ass shit, like in their 40s, acting like they're in their 20s. That's just not my speed. And I think between Extra Hot and GPS, I can create the career for myself that I kind of have always envisioned.
Got you.
And I can do things on my terms.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Do you think that's the key to, if you were to tell a manager or artist or somebody coming into this business, is that the key to actual real wealth, is having fun? Yeah. But obviously building real good infrastructure, but having fun in this business. Because I feel like, honestly, man.
I haven't seen you glow like this since early Jesse days. Even the energy you came in with today, hearing how many of these episodes you're doing week on week, hearing the way people are leaving, because a lot of these people are my friends.
Yeah.
And they're loving it.
What have you heard? What have you heard? Talk.
No, this is genuinely like, in terms of, it's ill to watch this happen, because I saw firsthand the idea, the morsel of the idea that you had when we were working together, and to see it blossom. And like, I know people are watching and they're like, yeah, I mean, he has 50 episodes, 60 episodes. He has another 50 in the can.
It's true, though.
He's working and he loves it, and you could tell, you can feel. He's always been a teacher in this way, and I think that I'm really thankful that I got to be there from the very beginning, and we had those conversations with no cameras on. That's just who you are.
Yeah, a lot of it is informed by that. It's just my real life. Like, authentically enjoy having these conversations.
I know.
Yeah.
You would do this if you didn't get paid, dog.
I do this when I don't. Yeah, I mean,
yeah. And I know what it's, I see all the people.
Yeah.
I know what it takes to do this.
There's costs associated with this. I'm fortunate that I've had a pretty good career where I can cover these costs, right?
Yeah.
But operating in the red for the first part of it, now we're just starting to get into the black and breaking even, which is great.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. But I mean,
but you know what this is. You know the value it brings to the young versions of me and you.
Yeah.
I wish as an artist that I had you when I was coming up, because I wouldn't have made some of the mistakes. I don't have any regrets, but
of course, me neither.
Glad it went the way that it did.
Yeah.
But to be able to give game for free, like, y'all got no fucking excuses. Deep dive all this shit. And then after that, the Rory and Mal pod. That's family.
Well, what are we saying here? What are we saying here? Are you saying from a music, a podcast standpoint?
But this is different.
Wait, are you saying from a podcast standpoint that this is your favorite podcast?
This is my favorite music industry podcast.
Okay. Well, thank you.
From one of my favorite people, my brother, and obviously Rory's. That's family too. That's a bit of a different.
I don't think Rory and Mal's podcast. They definitely touch on business and the music business like a lot.
Yeah.
And shout out to Rory. Shout out to Mal. I love watching it. They show up on my Instagram first thing 9 a.m. That's the first thing that shows up.
Really? That's fine.
Yeah. They make me laugh. I love like their commentary.
Yeah, they're amazing.
And to be honest with you, man, I in many ways I don't know. I'm a tough critic on myself, right? And so I feel like this can always get better, these conversations, but I don't feel like I have the best command of the language, of the English language. I promise you. Maybe it's because I'm bilingual. I don't know, but I don't think that I have the best communication.
You're an amazing listener.
That I am. I feel like I can listen well.
You ask
I'm not saying this.
Poignant questions.
I'm not saying this for you to say all that.
No, but I'm also trying to give you your flowers, because
I appreciate that.
It's important for me to, like, I watch this.
Yeah.
I learn every time.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Yeah. And you learn from the guests, right? And you learn, I guess, from the questions that I'm asking. I'm saying that to say that, like, Rory has great command and presence in communicating style. Yeah. Great communication style. Mal is incredible as well. There's a lot of people who have podcasts who are great at communicating. And so I watch these podcasts and I learn from them just as much. But for you to sit here, somebody who's been in the business for a long time.
I'm an avid consumer of these
You are
pods.
a consumer. So this is what you got to learn at home. If you're watching this podcast and you've watched this episode with Azad, you know what we've talked about in terms of artist development, generating revenue, having equity. The reason he knows and understands all this stuff is because he's still a student of this thing. He watches this on a regular basis because the people that are on this podcast are given a lot of game. And so that's how you become successful in this business.
Word.
It's not because, it's not, word.
Fucking cracking word.
It's not simply because, you know, he's just got this, you have your talents and you have your gifts, but it's.
I'm average, man.
I think I'm average.
Yeah, I'm
just hardworking motherfuckers who like really care about this shit.
And then we love it.
We love it. We love it.
And that shit radiates off us. So it's like, this is a true testament to like not giving up.
Yeah.
And not being scared to iterate. Like
right.
I've also known a few versions of you. And a lot of people after what you've gone through probably would have left the business for being real.
Mm.
I don't know how much you want to talk about that, but I can speak for myself.
Yeah, you talk
the
about
same
it.
For me, there was multiple moments where I felt like this may not be the right game for me.
Yeah.
Because it took something that I deeply loved and it made it into, it felt like food and beverage at a certain point.
Yeah, but then you wake up 2 or 3 days later and you're like, what the fuck am I going to do in my life?
This is it.
This is it.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I love it more. Yeah. So.
Same.
But try to, you know.
Huh?
Try to maintain some level of whatever balance means to you so that you still have, because the problem that I have is people that keep going that have a resentment for it and feel like they didn't get what they deserved and they put that feeling on the people that they work with or the artists that they work with.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You know?
I don't think that's fair to other people.
Yeah.
I don't think that's actually that's not even healthy for that person.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
And I think there's ways that, yeah, sure, you could feel slighted or you could feel disappointed about how things have turned out. But ultimately, it's on you to figure it out and get out of that. Yeah, I mean, like, the reality is, you know, I made out okay. Like, I mean, I still have a good relationship with Jesse, with Byron. You know, I did well financially. It just decided at one point I had to step away from that business. What came with that were challenges that I knew were going to present themselves, like people not picking up my calls, people not texting me back. Not everybody, but a lot of people.
Yeah.
Kind of left for dead. And I knew that was going to be a thing. I was surprised with some people who didn't pick up my calls because I thought it was good to them. But at the end of the day, I just said to myself, like, and a lot of conversations you and I had, I'm like, oh shit, man, I still really enjoy this business. I think there's a version of this business that I can incorporate from my prior experience with being a service production company to artists and doing music videos. But it's at this point, I just got to a place where I was like, yeah, and I took some cues from you, to be honest with you. I'm like, yo, I got to develop my own IP. I've really got to develop my own intellectual property because I've been in the service business for so long. And I'm like, oh, I see Azad's doing it. I see other people are doing it. And I'm like, let me do my version of it because what I'm going to do is not going to look like what you do, you know? Because this is how I had fun. This is what I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the lesson in that, man. I think really anybody who gets into this business, if you do put your best foot forward and you do really care about it, you can make some real bread. And I think hopefully the conversations that we have on this podcast, on this platform, are helping inform a generation of individuals who are going to come in and really build their own brands and really build their own equity. You know? And you're a testament to that, man.
Thank you.
You showing people how it's done. And most importantly, showing how you can generate, I'm going to say it, you can generate millions of dollars in revenue and not have to be loud about it. Quietly doing it. So there's an opportunity for people to do this. You don't got to be the biggest artist in the fucking world in order to make millions of dollars. You can do it very quietly. You can do it very successfully. And you, Britt, Brando, everybody around you are a testament to that, man. And I learn from you all the time. I learn from this conversation that I have with you, man. And I think it's
likewise
very enlightening, man. And thank you so much for the flowers. I appreciate it.
My brother.
My bro.
Appreciate you.
Likewise.